The Red Death. A terrible disease came to this country. The illness was called the Red Death. No one was safe. Soon many people were sick. There was no help, no cure. The Red Death killed half of the people in this land. Prince Prospero, the ruler of this country, wanted to escape from the terrible disease. He called all his courtiers to his castle on the top of a hill. When all of the most powerful people in the land were inside the castle, the gates and doors were closed. They were fastened and no one could get in or out. Prince Prospero had plenty of food inside the castle, and there was plenty of wine to drink. He did not think about the rest of the people in his land. Prince Prospero told his courtiers to enjoy themselves.
Forget about the Red Death.
He said,
The disease is outside the castle walls. I don't want to think about the Red Death. I don't want to hear about the Red Death. I don't want to see the Red Death. I want everyone to be happy.
The prince prepared a mask for his courtiers. There was going to be music for dancing. There was going to be wonderful food to eat. There was going to be good wine to drink. Dancers and singers were going to entertain the guests. Everyone was going to wear masks. Their faces were going to be hiding by the masks. There were 7 special rooms in the castle. Each room was a different color, and each room had a great window in one of its walls. The glass in each of these windows was a different color. At night, a fire burned outside each window. The light of the flame shone through the windows and the rooms were lit with the colored light. These rooms were together in a line. The prince and his courtiers went from one room to next room. They sang and danced. They laughed. They ate and drank. The first room was blue, the color of the sky. The chairs and the carpet were blue. The furniture was blue. The glass in the window was blue.
Não fique estressadinha, calma amor, não se exponha. Não fique estressadinha, calma amor, não se...
The second room was purple, the color of dark wine. The chairs and couches were covered with purple cloth. The window glass was purple. third room was green, the color of leaves. It had green glass in its window. The fourth room was orange, the color of the sun at sunset.
You said New York is dangerous.
The fifth room was white as snow. The sixth room was violet, the color at the edge of rainbow. The seventh and last room was black as night. Black curtains hung on the walls. The carpets on the floor were black. But the window in this room was red, the color of blood. The light that came through the window was the color of blood. There was also a clock in the seventh room. It was a large old clock. Its pendulum swung backward and forward slowly. A bell in the clock rang every hour. The metal bell made a loud noise. Everyone in the castle heard the bell. Every hour they stopped and listened to the clock. When the bell rang, the musicians stopped playing music. The dancers stopped dancing. The courtiers stopped eating and drinking. The faces of men and women became pale. They held their hands in front of their eyes. When they heard the clock, they became afraid. When the clock was silent, they took their hands in front of their faces and they laughed. Then the musicians started playing again. The dancers danced. Everyone ate and drank. They forgot about the clock until the next hour. Prince Prosper was pleased. This was his finest mask. He thought of nothing but the mask. The courtiers enjoyed themselves. Their only thoughts were about food, drink, music, and dancing. The masquerade had started in the afternoon. The courtiers did not worry about the clock at first. The bell rang once, the bell rang twice. It rang 3 times. The courtiers stopped for only few moments as the bell rang. Then the mask continued. The guests walked from room to room. When the night came, fires were lit behind the great windows. Light shone through the glass. The light was the color of each of the windows: blue, purple, green, orange, white, and violet. But one room was empty. No one wanted to enter the seventh room. This room had red light coming through its window and had a great clock. The bell of the clock rang 10 times. Everyone stopped. Then they ate, danced, and drank again. 11 o'clock came. The courtiers stopped for a long time, but soon they were enjoying themselves once more. Finally, the bell rang 12 times. The courtiers stopped and waited. They all listened as the bell rang 12 times. Midnight. Suddenly they saw a stranger. No one had seen this stranger mask before. Who was this person? No one could enter or leave the castle. How the stranger entered? The stranger wore a long white gown. He wore the clothes of a dead man in a tomb. His mask was terrible and frightening. He had the face of a dead man. There was blood on the mask, and there was blood on the stranger's clothes. Prince Prosper was not pleased. He did not want to remember the Red Death, who had come wearing a mask that reminded him of the Red Death.
Take him!
Shouted the prince.
Kill him!
Several men moved toward the stranger. The stranger looked at the man. They stopped walking. Was there a mask on the stranger's face? Or was the sign of disease on the stranger's face? The men were afraid.
Take him!
Shouted the prince again.
Kill him!
But no one touched the stranger. Everyone moved away from him. The prince was angry. The stranger walked from the broom room into the purple room. Everyone moved away from the stranger with the mask of the Red Death. Everyone was afraid. Prince Prosper followed the stranger from the blue room to the purple room. He followed him from the green room to the orange room. He followed the stranger from the white room to the violet room. There was only one more room. The stranger stood in the black room. He stood in front of a great clock. The hands of the clock had stopped at midnight. The bell was never going to ring again. The red light from the window fell on the stranger and the clock. The red light was the color of blood. Prince Prospero pulled a knife from his belt. He went into the black room. He was going to kill the stranger. The red light fell on the stranger, and he turned toward Prince Prospero. The stranger was wearing no mask. Prince Prosper cried out in pain. The knife fell from his hand. The prince fell onto the ground in front of the clock. He was dead. Then every one of the courtiers fell onto the floor, their bodies shook. Blood came from their ears, their eyes, and their noses. The floor became red with the blood. They cried in fear as they died. Prince Prospero no longer ruled in the castle. The castle had a new master. Red Death was the ruler now.
And teacher, we want an A cause we had a lot of work, so here is the making of.
Aê! Tetra! Brasil na Copa, ganhou, eu voei sem querer, desculpa. Pode isso não. Rei, eu sei que eu sou rei, mas não tenho superpoder. Ô Pivete, tá olhando o que, palhaço? Estão olhando o que? Vamos levar tudo porrada pra parar de ser pivete.
Ai, caralho.
É Tetra! O Brasil ganhou a Copa, é nóis!
Acabou!
Acabou! Acabou! É Tetra! Você também leva dano, morto! É Tetra! Deixa eu dar uma olhada aqui nesse relógio aí, tá porra. Já são 11 horas, minha mãe vai brigar comigo. Minha mãe vai brigar. Deixa eu voltar, deixa eu voltar, deixa eu voltar, deixa eu voltar. Deixa eu avisar, ligar pra ela.
Acabou.
Eu perdi o parágrafo.
Você é muito burro.
Hi Hitler.
The Red Death had killed thousands of people. No disease had ever been so terrible. Blood was its god and its distinguishing mark. There were sharp pains and sudden faintness. and much bleeding through the skin. Death came in half an hour. Red stands up on. Lá.
Você gravou. But Prince Prospero was happy and brave and wise. When half his people had died, he called together 1,000 of his lords and ladies, all in good health, and with these went to live in his most distant castle. The immense building and extensive lands were surrounded by a strong and high wall. This wall has Puta que pariu, não. Falei, has.
Tem que clicar no amarelo. Amarelo.
But Prince Prospero was happy and brave and wise. When half his people had died, he called together 1,000 of his lords and ladies, all in good health, and with this went to live in the most distant castle. The immense building and its extensive lands were surrounded by a strong and high wall. This wall had gates of iron. The nobles, having entered... Puta que pariu. Que palavra é essa?
É muito burro.
Que palavra é essa? Lê isso aqui. Lê isso aqui.
É tetra!
Lê isso aqui.
Heated.
É heated. Heated. Bateu, socorro.
Tetra!
Lê essa palavra.
É tetra!
Não é heated, pô.
1, 2, 3, 4.
O que você tá
Vai.
fazendo?
Vai, Gazaki, cacete.
O que você tá fazendo, cara? Isso é um making off, tá ligado? Isso é make. Prince Prospero, the ruler. O que vocês fizeram?
Você tá assim, ó.
Porque o Alan fica fazendo assim. 1, 2. Você não vai saber pro make off. The prince prepared a mass for his courtiers. There was going to be music for dancing. There was going to be wonderful food to eat. There was going to be good wine. E perdi. Isso aí.
Aê, verde! Palmeira! Palmeira, meu filho! Palmeira. Todo mundo vai cair nessa sala. Entendeu a piadinha?
Meu Deus.
Palmeiraço! É Marco! Marco, eu tô voando! Eu peidei ali, eu saí voando! Mas isso não! Oi, tudo bom? Tudo bom? Ô, criança, olha pra cá, olha pra cá, ô Dadinho. Dadinho não, aqui é o Zé Pequeno, filho da puta! Ah, é Zé Pequeno aqui? Ah, então vai levar. Eita, porra! Opa, desculpa, pera um pouco, galera. Preciso reconstruir aqui. A criança tava com bombinha, explodiu tudo. Não pode isso não. Vou banir as crianças aqui do castelo. Vão tudo pegar a doença da morte vermelha. Vão tudo apodrecer lá fora. Tuts. Quero ver. Olha esse morcego tá me dando raiva, cara. Morcego.